Be sure to check out the free shed plans from the Jamaica Cottage shop based in Vermont down below in the description, and a link to ENVI Tiny House Heaters, incredibly easy to install. What's up, guys? Deke, RelaxShacks.com. Want to show you something, a recent impulse acquisition, not the box truck over there, boxtruckfilm.com, a conversion we did kind of recently that will be a documentary film coming up. Like I said, check out the website. But this one, where is it? Over here. Like I said, my impulse buy. So I'll show you the exterior first. Never mind the door leaning against it. Found that on the side of the road recently. Let me show you the doorknob in this thing. I find these all the time. These doorknobs alone are worth like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. Very ornate. That's awesome. So I could get, like, let's say, just call it 25 bucks alone for that doorknob to play it safe. But I might just keep the whole thing and make this kind of a future bathroom nook door in this box truck conversion. That door is very old, probably close to 100 years old, easily. But I want to show you the truck. The box of this is about 11 feet long. They said 10, but it's more like 11 feet. And I was hesitant to impulse buy this one. I've been looking at a couple. I was almost gonna pull the trigger on one, but this one popped up in Facebook Marketplace. The downside, it's like 6 feet tall inside. These doors are kind of creepy. It looks like something like, you know, Leatherface is gonna pop out of some like deep freezer, but it's not that creepy inside. So the problem is this thing is only 6 feet tall. I'm 6'4", so by the time you put in an actual ceiling insulation, you're losing more height. We'll get to that shortly. Everything's in decent condition. Needs new power steering. It drives. I guess I'll add that I bought it. Never mind the stuff I have stored back here. I bought it for 1,200 bucks. Guy wanted 1,400. Got it for 1,200. Very friendly dude. I meet a lot of nice people through Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, contrary to what the headlines, you know, read in terms of the Craigslist killers and all that. You know, there's some rust here and there, but it's New England. You can get rust no matter what. A little beat up from the feet up in here. I kind of don't care about even driving it. I'm not really sure what my plans are. I think I want to build it in something, use it for a while, then flip it. We'll see. Seats are a little beat up, but I mean, they hold a butt. And that's all they're really meant to do. And the sucker does drive. Decent amount of space here in the middle. There you go, nothing glamorous. One thing is awesome that we didn't have in the other box truck, because that one was a U-Haul that had the grandma's attic, they call it, that goes over the cab. This one has the pass-through to the back, which I love. You're not seeing anything yet. I'll open the back and I'll show you that in just a second. So a decent amount of room here. I was contemplating if it never was driven and just to use the loopholes for it being, you know, on wheels to put in your backyard so you're not really taxed on it or whatever, or so it's just allowed. I was actually thinking of tearing all the seats out. You can rip this idea off if you want. Taking the steering wheel out, having some kind of curtain system, and through this passage making this the sleep area and the bedroom for the box truck, thus saving space in there. You can see I'm already storing stuff in there because in the meantime, if anything, I just acquired on wheels a $1,200 shed, which is still a bargain. Tires, as you can see, if you can see the treads here, in pretty decent shape. And it's not as big. Here's a shot of the other box truck. Alex Eves lives in full time. It's been in my backyard for a while before I head on the road again. This one's 17 feet long. This one, like I said, is about 11. So behind the creepy freezer doors, you can see I'm already storing a bunch of junk in here. I'm getting ready to do, I'm cleaning house. I'm gonna do a flea market and such, and I got some stuff I gotta get rid of. This is where I'm storing it. So inside, here's a problem. You know, you get this step up with any box truck. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I might get a set of stairs made out of metal that are hinged to this, you know, welded on, that flip down if need be. Most people would put the door on this end of the truck, but I'm kind of sick of seeing that look. So I might fill in the back of this with that Tough Tex greenhouse-like material. I'll show you some right over here I used. So it's translucent, not transparent. Love it. Double walled, goes up easy, it's very lightweight. So I might make a wall with some cool geometric patterns back here, or just nice centered double pane window with some tongue and groove cedar, maybe even shingle it, I don't know. Do I keep the doors in here? Maybe you can add your input here, I'm not sure. I think I might take them off. But the advantage is you can kind of hide the back and the window more so if those doors are left in. So if you park somewhere, you can shut this up for a while. You don't even know it's really, let's say, a box truck conversion. But I take that back because here's my plans. With so small a space, and here's some tips for those of you thinking of converting a box truck. Make sure you have a lot of natural light and keep things very open, a lot of visual space, because otherwise things feel very small. I might put a door somewhere around here. If I cut too many holes in this, I lose the structural rigidity of the whole box truck, so things go rack like crazy. But here, I might put, if I can, secure it structurally, beef it up enough, some kind of large window. Maybe not anything as large as this. This thing's kind of burning a hole in my pocket. I want to use that. Thing's gigantic, but how cool would it be to have a window, the slider sideways right here? It's tempered glass too. I would have to cushion it enough to kind of ride the the roads, literally and figuratively, when you hit bumps, so it doesn't blow out and shatter. But I have all these windows I've been collecting. I got some options. Let's climb up inside here. Like I said, ceiling height's a challenge, so my plan for this is just cut the whole darn ceiling off and put a gable roof, build one with metal roofing on top, maybe pop in a skylight. This way it looks cooler from the outside. It is not hidden as a box truck anymore, of course. But I'll be able to stand in here, because right now I cannot stand. I'll flip the camera to show you. So that is a problem, because keep in mind, when I install some 2x3s, 2x4s as rafters here as my attachment point for plywood, sheathing, insulation between those, the ceiling gets lower now. So now my neck's even more Quasimodo'd over. So that's gonna have to be, dealt with and remedied, like I said, with a gable roof, cutting the roof off this thing entirely. This sucker is pretty small. It's like 6.5, a little more feet across. Kind of thinking, the idea again, like I said, keep it as open as possible. Having almost the bed here elevated a little bit with storage beneath it, or sitting space beneath it, depending on how high the roof goes. Over here, I want to have like a long, thin kitchenette area with like one window over here. Don't overdo it with windows. Like I said, people are tempted to do this with tiny houses. You overdo it with windows, and all of a sudden you're losing that structural rigidity, like I said before. And your place is less private. You might be getting too much solar gain, and so on and so forth. Over here, I'm contemplating. There's this annoying gas cap area that goes to the gas tank below here, so you gotta be careful with that. I'm contemplating building in this like very small bathroom space. The other idea was, do I make a bathroom through here and take out one seat and box it in somehow? But that's kind of pretty not so cool. I'll figure something out. You can see when you start framing in the walls, if you want to put insulation in here, I think I could go with closed cell foam, blown in. Excuse my hands, how dirty they are. I've been doing carpentry. You can see, I don't know why they had this here. It's a 2x4 screwed to the wall right now. How much space that starts to waste coming out from the wall here. So I think I'll use 2x3s. 2x2s is gonna be too small. They lend no additional strength. So I'll figure that out as I go along. But right here, I'm thinking, it'll be interesting to see. You're seeing this video now down the road when you see the final product, like what I actually decided to do. And with some of your comments and input below, I might change my course of action. We'll see. But that might be a little bathroom space, because it'd be nice to actually try to fit one in here at the expense of gobbling up some square footage. So maybe some cool natural light, and I want the door, I'm thinking, over here instead. I can't put it there. Giant window right here. More natural light right there. I can go for almost the Danish cheapo modern look, and I add the term cheapo to that because I might do it all in OSB. And if I uniformly do it as such and put a coat on it, the overall product doesn't look that bad, at least I feel so. I'm not a fan of OSB otherwise, particle board stuff, all those varieties of engineered wood. Pass through here, you gotta be real short to get through. It's probably 3 feet tall, but it is a cool feature. If I'm not driving this anywhere, this becomes storage to get stuff out of the way, because I don't really plan. I kind of bought this thinking I might not put it on the road ever or register it. It's just a backyard excuse to be allowed to put a tiny guest house slash art studio in my backyard. You can see my workshop messes over there. Lots of stuff going on here at the Diedrichson household. Always some redneck enterprises in Sanford and Son-like fashion. By the way, side note, a couple things came in the back of the box truck. Not these windows. I collect these and sell them pretty cheap, find them on the side of the road. Nor that yard sale-ish stuff. I might take this table too and route a sink into it. It's actually quite beautiful when you flip it over, but I'm too lazy to do that. But this sterling silver platter is pretty cool if you clean it up. We had a video on how to clean that. I clean those with toothpaste on this channel here, and it works pretty well. I could get a little loot for that. That thing's kind of cool. Or maybe somehow I can incorporate it back into this build. I'm not quite sure yet. The make is, I don't know if it's a Rogers one or Rogers and Brothers or whatever. I'm trying to look for a name. This needs some cleaning up. I might not, you know, it's a little bit dented, so it's probably not worth that much. Spare tire, which is cool, in really good shape. Just the tires alone, if I was to cannibalize this thing, they're worth something on the aftermarket. A gallon of paint, I'll take it. You know, it's about half full. It's like a 15-buck value. Every little thing adds up, man. All right, I had a temporary bout of energy, so I placed it. It won't go in here, but here's what that table looks like. Thing's kind of nice, ornate. Route something at the top, becomes a little kitchenette area, you know, some dish storage and whatever against the walls, a window over it. Maybe raised up a little higher, it's a little bit low. Storage space beneath, so on and so forth. Found this on the side of the road. It was absolutely free. If I don't use it for this, I could sell that easily for about 50 bucks. The streets shall provide, as I say time and time again. Little details here. That I gotta touch up. Another crate I found on the side of the road for free too. I'll get rid of the ABC stuff and probably clad something over it. This could be more storage slash a seat in here as well. The idea is kind of going to be like, can I furnish it with just roadside junk? Much like we did with the box truck film. We dumpster dive, side of the road, bartered for leftovers. It worked out nicely. So things like this are going to save my butt and my budget. By the way, to jump in time here, here's what can be done with just roadside refuse and dumpsters dived stuff, yard sale junk. This will be another video on my channel. My art studio that's also in my backyard, full of all sorts of weirdness, especially this. Creepy. So like I said, I will be chronicling the build here. If you guys want to see what I do, try not to bump my head with this build, just keep watching, subscribe to the channel. We will have stuff down the road on that. And thank you as always for watching, and we'll see you later. Take care.